Let's say that you want to become a more data-driven organization, and part of that is having the people in your organization to make that happen. You've already reached a place where you know that people's skills are key to your company's success. So, because you're an enlightened company, you want to put your money where your mouth is. You want to actually invest in people's skills. Okay? How do you do that? There are many ways to do this sort of investment. I work in data analytics, so I'd like to say, if you can't measure something, you can't manage something. So a lot of people share this mentality, and maybe they start by measuring the investment, because this is actually the easiest thing to measure. Okay, this is a little bit harder to measure, but that's actually what we want. We'll build our way up to that. But there's something that happens when a company is starting to become more data-driven and more analytical in their thinking. They tend to measure what is easiest to measure, even if it's kind of far away from the actual outcome they want. So I'll show you what I mean. If your goal is to invest in people, you might come up with a spreadsheet that has people, has the amount that you want to invest, so maybe this is the budget, right? And then the actual investment, right? And then space, and then the learning opportunity. This learning opportunity costs some money, right? And then whether or not it was approved, and whether or not it actually happened. So, very, very cool spreadsheet tracking all the important things. So if somebody actually ends up taking a class, the cost gets actually invested, and over time we can see how much we've invested in our people. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with this. This is a fine way to start. But what are we actually measuring here? We're measuring the ticket price that people spend on classes. Are we actually measuring company success? So to do this, we have to tell our story. We have to come up with a theory of why investing in people helps companies succeed. And I think it works actually like this. The reason why investing in people helps a company succeed is because people have skills. Certain skills are necessary for certain types of work types. Okay. And it does take investment to associate people with new skills and therefore people with new work. So people and skills have a one-to-many relationship. And in fact, there are many people at a company that might have the same skill. So this is a many-to-many relationship both ways. One person could be suitable for one type of work, but as they gain new skills, the number of work types that they're suitable for grows. And each type of work might have multiple people that can do this. Basically, the more skillful people you have, and the more types of work each individual person can do, the more resilient of a company you have. You can deploy a single person to do the work of like a 5-person team because that person has all the skills they need to make it happen. So I've just been drawing these connections here. How are these connections actually cultivated? Skills are developed. Development opportunities are actually what the company has to invest in. And the success of that investment can be measured by how many new skills have been associated with people, and even closer to the outcome, how many new types of work are now associated with their existing staff. Development opportunities come in many different forms. Some of them cost money. Some of them cost a lot of money. If your measurement for success is simply how much money you spend, you're incentivized to go for the most expensive development opportunities. You might not even track whether or not the skill was applied to a work opportunity. But if we get away from trying to measure how many of these things we spend, and instead trying to measure how many new connections we make between people and skills and people and work types, maybe our understanding of development opportunities becomes more diverse. There are some development opportunities that don't take a lot of money, but simply take time. Okay? These might be free, but these might be exactly the things you have to invest in to make new connections. If we start separating development opportunities from from people, basically in this data model, and start tracking people as they do new types of work, we can be much more diverse in our thinking and much more creative. So what do we have here? How are development opportunities related to these three objects in our system? I would say like this. One skill can have multiple development opportunities. There could be free ways to develop this skill. There could be paid ways to develop this skill. And one development opportunity might teach you multiple skills. Eventually, people will take on development opportunities, and maybe multiple people will join the same development opportunity. And we count the number of times that these connections are made as the time and money investment that the company is making. And this is how we calculate ROI. Based on the connections between people and development ops, this is the cost. It's the sum of time and dollars. Okay? The benefit is the sum of new work types and people. The reason that we have skill here is we believe that it's certain skills that people have to learn from these development opportunities. We can simplify this and just say that skills aren't important. Certain development opportunities enable certain work types. But I think by keeping skills in the picture, it encourages you to be more diverse in your thinking and recognize that there are multiple skills that can be, there are multiple development opportunities that can be created in order to learn a certain skill. By including this level of complexity in your system, you behavior hack your own thinking, and you encourage yourself to come up with multiple options when learning a skill. Okay. All right. So this is pretty simple to set up if you are used to thinking in an interconnected relational way. And that's something that the good folks at Komodo are very good at. So I hope you enjoyed this micro lesson on data-driven decision making as it applies to skill development. And see you in the next video.